This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1979-82 Fall League. Actually, not welcome back, or welcome. This is the first game of the Fall League that you'll see, even though I've played a bunch of games. It's the Cincinnati Reds at the Pittsburgh Pirates. We picked this game because, if you were watching the Summer League, back in 71 to 74, it was the Pirates beating the Detroit Tigers in the World Series, which we just broadcast a few weeks ago. And it's 8 years later. That's the way you have to look at this, the Fall League, 79-82. And as it just turns out, by wild coincidence, I guess, 71 Pirates win the World Series. 8 years later, the 79 Pirates win the World Series. 79 Cincinnati Reds win the West. Actually, they're a very good team. So this rivalry just rolls all the way through the decade. And the fun part about it is in the Summer League and in the Fall League, we'll just continue to roll this rivalry, probably the best rivalry in the league at this time, only because of realignment, putting the Reds and Pirates in the same division during this timeline. It would have been the Reds and Dodgers, would have been the Pirates and Phillies, I'm thinking, otherwise. But yeah, because the Phillies and Pirates were winning the the National League East. Reds and Dodgers were winning the National League West in the late 70s, early 80s. Some other teams in there. Let's take a look at what has happened in this particular series. These are all best of 5 series. We played 3 games. The series opened up in Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Game 1, it was Jim Bibby for the Pirates, Mario Soto for the Reds. And it was the Pirates getting the upper hand here. Leadoff triple by Bud Harrelson. Nice little free agent on-base percentage machine at that point of his career. Scores on a ground out by Dave Parker. A couple singles and a walk in the 4th inning. It's 3-zip. The Reds get a 2-run homer by Concepcion, 3-2. Stays that way until both bullpens play and their defenses have an error here, error there, error there. Defense is not particularly good for these teams in this timeline. Pirates win Game 1 on the road, 7-3. By the way, earlier this year, let's go look back and see. Yeah, it was the Reds who had home field. The Pirates had home field advantage, but the Reds won 3-1 in a best of 5 series. This is their second best of 5 series, and the Pirates are trying to do the same thing. Win 3-1 starting on the road. Let's look at Game 2 here. And the Reds get the equalizer in Game 2. Tom Seaver for the Reds. John Candelaria having a rough time as a lefty who gets up a lot of homers to righties. And the Reds unload on him with 6 hits in the 1st inning, a couple triples and a double and a single in the 3rd. He's knocked out by the 4th inning. This is a 9-3 final, not much else to talk about in this one. As Tom Seaver retires after the 7th inning, enjoying the afternoon off with a big lead. Reds tie this series game apiece. That brings us to Game 3, and we go to Pittsburgh. It is the Pirates winning this one as well. Rick Rhoden versus Fred Norman, and now it's the Pirates unloading early. Again, error here. Error by Dave McKay, error by Fred Norman. 6 runs there. 2-base error by Dave Parker doesn't really hurt there. It's a 7-3 final by the Pirates. Not particularly compelling baseball to this point, other than to maybe take a peek at the overall standings. Let's do that here. As we have the Fall League has moved along a little bit. We started playing these games in the early winter, and then I would play some series here and there throughout the spring and the summer when I had extra time to get some games done, so that now in the fall, as the leaves have changed and the football season has begun, I play less frequently. So we'll just be playing from now until the Super Bowl, and that's when the World Series will be. Here are your two squads. There you go. They are tied in this division at first. Pirates would like to win this game. They would then be a game up, and they would have split the season series. If the Reds win this game, they would clinch the season series, and worst case, be tied for first. So there's a lot to play for in the very first series in the Fall League. And again, every series you'll see in the Fall League will be divisional now. No interleague play. You see the National League's played 130 games. American League 126 because of these games I'm playing today. 256 overall. We play about 440 games by Super Bowl Saturday. To give you some idea. And again, this is a much more relaxing atmosphere here. It's not as intense. Or I like to say, I like to have more fun and chill and play these more relaxed than I do in the Summer League. So today's pitchers, it's a battle of Game 4, number 4 pitchers in the Game 4 as well. It's going to be Bill Bonham. Bill Bonham played for the Cubs, played for the Reds. In '79, he's 9-7 with a 3.78 ERA and 176 innings. And the Pirates will send Buddy Solomon, sometimes known as Eddie Solomon, I guess. He was a Pirate in '80. 7-3 with a very nice 2.70 ERA, 170 innings. Both guys are starter sixes. Both teams have great offenses. We expect a slugfest and a battle of bullpens to decide this thing, we believe. And leading off for the Reds, it was a guy stolen away from the Pirates, Lee Lacy. Actually, Lee Lacy started his career with the Dodgers. But we have the Reds intervening and taking him, making sure that he doesn't end up in Pittsburgh. Well, he'll do some damage in the early 80s. Lee Lacy, 110, skies the center. Brett Butler, 45, triple 1 and 2, double. George Foster, 410, third X. This is Bob Baylor playing third base. He makes the play. Pittsburgh has imported a ton of guys from other organizations here in an attempt to get over the top and win this World Series. Johnny Bench, 58, lies right. Reds go with a lot of familiar names. All right, here is Bud Harrelson leading off. 410, third X. Dave McKay for the Reds at third base is a 2E35. The Reds obviously missed Pete Rose. He's on the Phillies now, and Ray Knight is on the Mets now. So they have a big giant hole over at third base. Dave McKay is filling in temporarily. Batting second, Bob Baylor, 311, flies to right. And batting third, it'll be Dave Parker, the Cobra, 5'10", center. Top of the second, it's Ken Griffey, 2-8, rolls to second base. Concepcion, 2-7 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Corcoran, 1-6, grounds to third. There's a lot more player movement also I want to mention, because you're going to see a lot of strange names in strange places here. I kind of moved a lot. I created a situation in this timeline to make a lot more player movement, because we got 2 more teams, right? We got the Toronto and Seattle rosters, so that means that the talent pool's a little bit deeper. From the early 70s, you have a 24-team league. Now you got a 26-team league, so now you can get some more players, move them around. And a lot of times, the expansion teams are the big beneficiaries. You know, your Arizona, Colorado, Las Vegas, Portland, teams like that, because they're going to find much better talent and take them away from the best teams. And then the best teams have to resort to stealing secondary players. So, just a little forward there for you. Willie Stargell, 64, pops to second. Don Slaught bounced to short. And Al Woods, 55, second. Top of the third, it's Dave McKay. 49's a walk. Bump Wills, 1-3, first B. He's going to attempt a stolen base. He's an ace stealer, and he's out stealing. Oh well. And with 2 outs, back up top to Lee Lacy. 4-4. Homer 1-18 off the Solomon card. Doesn't have power though, so it's a single. Double A stealer will take off, and he steals second base. And Slot's T rating, I'm sure he's got it. 1-5. So it's a throwing error. Actually, my bad. Yeah, Lee Lacy was on the base pass there, so he couldn't have stolen the base. My mistake. That's just runners on the corners. Or first and second. We'll just leave it alone at first and second. Oh, McKay got thrown out stealing. That's right. My bad. Wills got thrown out stealing. So there's 2 outs there. So that is a stolen base. Sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot he got thrown out stealing. So you got a walk. You got a bump Wills fielder's choice. He gets thrown out stealing. So there's 2 outs. Then you get a Lacy single. Then you get a stolen base and the ball thrown in the center field. So that's why we have a caught stealing there. And we have an E2 on the catcher there. So Lacy's at third with 2 outs. And it's Brett Butler. 59. He strikes out. Bottom of the third here, it'll be Bill Robinson for the Pirates. Will Robinson, 1-9, single 1-8, lines out. Omar Moreno batting down in the lineup because he has a hard time getting on base. Low on base percentage. 4-4 catcher's card. This is bench. Johnny's a 1-1 late in his career. How about that? And Tim Foley. 5'10, center X. Brett Butler in center field's a 2E5. Makes the catch. Bill Bonham, 9 up and down. Into the 4th we go. It's George Foster, 57, pops to first. Not much to show you, folks. Bench, they're not hitting their cards at all. Rolls to the pitcher. Griffey, 37, flies to right. Bottom of the 4th. Quickly played game in Pittsburgh. Bud Harrelson, 1-6. Let's take a look at a card. Here is the Bud Harrelson card of 1980. Went to the Rangers. Can't field a lick anymore. But for some reason, he knew how to take a pitch suddenly. Had 29 walks and 180 at-bats with a 272 batting average. This is a wild on-base percentage against right-handed pitching, probably over 400. So he makes an excellent, free agent for a team like Pittsburgh, who always had a trouble. Even if you watch that 71 World Series, not a lot of those guys drew walks. They're a free-swinging team. But they got Bud Harrelson, they got Bob Baylor. They added a couple guys who were known for on base to help the We Are Family Pirates here in this season, and that is a walk. Bob Baylor, 3-6, another walk. And that's exactly what Pittsburghers wanted. Guys at the top of the lineup to walk in front of Parker and Stargell. Dave Parker. 2-7's a K. And here's Willie Stargell. Let's take a look at him before he swings. Here is your 1979 MVP in a tie with Keith Hernandez. 32 homers, 281. Had the game-winning homer in the Game 7 of the World Series off of Scott McGregor, I believe, in Baltimore. And he's up here with 1 out and 2 men on. 56, flies to right. And with 2 outs, it's going to be Don Slot. Nice little catcher here. 112, pops out. Slot was actually a 278 hitting catcher for the Royals that Pittsburgh went out and got. Didn't help. Nobody scores. Into the 5th we go. Concepcion. 46, double 1-2, base hit. B. Steeler. Tim Corcoran, former Tigers, on a hit and run here. And it didn't work. He popped out. Dave McKay, 47. Base hit right field. Concepcion will not challenge the Cobra arm. Stay at second. 1 out. Bump Wills. 44 off of Bud Solomon. It's Homer, 1-14. This is going to be a double. That will break the scoreless game up. McKay's an 11 runner. He will hold. So you got second and third, 1 out, 1-0. We'll bring it up with Lee Lacy coming up. 2-8, and that's a single ... for Lee Lacy. 2-run single in your Reds, trying to even this series up. Take a 3-0 lead. Double A stealing Lee Lacy is going to try another stolen base, and he makes it. He's at second for Brett Butler. 2-4 flies to right, and with 2 outs, it's Foster. 2-3 sit by the pitch. 2 on, 2 outs for Johnny Bench. Let's take a look at Johnny. So, Johnny now, his 79 card. This is probably the last year where he's a great defensive catcher. As he'll retreat to like a -1 arm. He'll have a +1 arm in 81 when he hits 300 in a short sample. But he's still hitting 22 home runs here with a 276 average. Crushes lefties again. And here we are, 2 on, 2 outs, the pitch to Bench. 46, he gets Solomon, double 1 and 2. That is a single dot, and the Reds are rolling here, 4-0. Runners in the corners for Ken Griffey as they bat around. 46, double 1 and 19. That's another double, and that'll do it. So Buddy Solomon, unfortunately for the Pirates, cannot get through the 5th inning. Ugly performance there. It's knocked out. It's 5-zip. Al Rabowski will come on in. Out of the bullpen. Rabowski had moved on to the Braves by 1980. And the Pirates signed him. He's got a 3.60 ERA. He comes on trying to get the final out here. Runners at second and third. It'll be Dave Concepcion. 39, grounds are short. Reds have a big 5-0 lead. Bill Bonham throwing a shutout, bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Al Woods will lead off in the bottom of the 5th. Nice Toronto card for Al. 2-6 is a base hit. There goes your no-hitter. Will Robinson, 65 short X, and here's his Concepcion, a 1E30. Need to get the error, it's a double play. And that is a 6-4-3 double play. Moreno, 1-7 is a K. We go to the 6th. Let's see. Corcoran will leave, and then the pinch hitter for him will be Steve Nicosia. Actually, another former Pirate, Steve Nicosia, 6'10", third X. Bob Baylor's a 4 at third base, but he makes the play. Dave McKay. Batting for Dave McKay will be Garth Orge, another former Blue Jay. You see these Blue Jay names start to come up throughout baseball now because the Blue Jays actually exist. They actually have a team, and so their players get strewn through baseball. Garth Orge. 67 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Bump Wills. 2-6, grounds is short. Nice inning and a third for Rabowski, keeping the Pirates in this thing. 5-zip. Bill Bonham's your story, though. He's throwing a shutout one-hitter. Tim Foley, 39, grounds is short. Bud Harrelson, 2-4, grounds a second. He's going to, I'll stick around. Bob Baylor, 39, grounds to third. The Bill Bonham Show. Would not have expected that today, folks. That's what you get in the Wild Fall League. Got players all over the place, players not familiar with. Good times here in Pittsburgh. Top of the 7th inning, though their team's losing. It'll be Rabowski will leave after inning in the 3rd. Bruce Keeson will come on in the 7th. He'll face Lee Lacy. 2-9, base hit for Lacy. Butler, 48, single 1 to 16, lines out. Foster, 1-4, K's, and Bench, 68, single 1 to 9, base hit, 2 on 2 outs for Ken Griffey. 2-5, let's take a look at Ken Griffey's card. Yeah, he's still here. And 79, he'll eventually end up on the Yankees, that's a shame. But anyway, 79, Griffey, 8 homers, a 316 average. Had this knack for hitting lefties better than righties for much of his Cincinnati career. Here he does it all. Beast stealer, a 3 defensive player, but a great base runner, a 17 base runner. 2-5 is a single to left field. Lacy will run, and he's a 16, he will score. Bench will stay at second on the throw. His legs are getting older. 2 on, 2 outs. It'll be Concepcion. 3-6, center. The Reds trying to even this series up on a great way to do it. 6-0 with Bill Bonham throwing a shutout. Stretch time in Pittsburgh. A little disappointed here. The Pirates, though, they've got their 79 We Are Family Sister Sledge playlist going here. Sister Sledge and Brothers Johnson, Heat Wave. The disco movement of 79 is in full swing. And yeah, Sister Sledge, often We Are Family, the Family Pirates of 1979. It's not happening today, though. They're down 6-0. Bonham's cruising here. And it'll be, you're not gonna let Johnny Bench play first, and Nakosha will catch, by the way. That was the change in the previous inning. Orge at third, as they have a big 6-0 lead. Get Johnny Bench's creaky knees out in the field. All right, 6-0 for Bonham. It'll be the Cobra leading off, Dave Parker. 54, center X. Center fielder is Brett Butler, a 2E4 or E5. What is he? Butler's a 2E5 in center field. Makes the grab. Pop Stargell, 2-9, center. And Don Slaught, 39, grounds to third. The Bill Bonham Show, folks. He's got a one-hit shutout through 7 innings against the big bad Pittsburgh Pirates. My goodness. Keeson continues into the 8th. He'll face Nakosha. 38 is a sky to center. Garth Orge. 48 for Orge is a strikeout. And Bump Wills. 68, base hit. So, Bump Wills, it's funny, we talked about in the other league, Joe Morgan in the Summer League was playing for the Astros to go to the Reds. And now Joe Morgan has just left the Reds to go to the Astros and Giants. So they brought Bump Wills in. He used to play for the Rangers. And actually he would have gone to the Cubs for in the early 80s, but now he's with the Reds instead of the Cubs. He reaches with a single. Back up top to Lacey. 2-6 is a single. And with 2 outs, it's Brett Butler. 4-4 off Keeson is third X. Third baseman's a 4-17. That's an error to load him. For Foster, 1-7 to K. 6-0 game, bottom of the 8th. Pirates, listless, getting one hit by Bill Bonham. It'll be Al Woods leading off. 49, single 1-2. Lines out. Bill Robinson, 38, short. And Moreno, 2-6, rolls to first base. One hit shutout. What, 3 batters over the minimum? 2 batters, because there's a double play in there. 2 batters over the minimum for Bill Bonham, folks. How many games like this have you seen on YouTube? Well, Bob Gibson threw a no-hitter. We did see that. But boy, this is one of the best 8 innings of baseball we've seen anybody pitch against the 79 Pirates, or some facsimile thereof. Keeson leaves after a couple innings. And Bob Ochinko will come on in the 9th. Nice little lefty setup guy here. Was with Oakland in 81. You see a lot of guys from 81 all over the place. That was the year of the strike. So familiar names in different locations. Here, Ochinko was with Oakland. Johnny Bench will lead off in the 9th with a 6-0 lead. 53, first. Ken Griffey, 1-9, walks. Concepcion, walks. Nakosha, 2 on, 1 out. 47 off of Ochinko is a base hit to left field. They'll go station to station here. Garth Orge, bases loaded, 1 out, playing back. 1-3, boy, folks, got to take a look at it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Garth Orge was a Blue Jay. Has a nice mid-1980s, by like 84, 85. The Blue Jays had the best record in baseball, I think, in 85 in the American League, and he played the third base with Mullinex. There was some good Blue Jays teams just out on my timeline, unfortunately. Here, Orge, this is a 248 hitter, but he really hits lefties well. And 1-3 is Homer, 1-15, double to left. Ladies and gentlemen, we got yourself a Fall League Grand Slam home run for Garth Orge, brother of Dane Orge, a granny in the 9th inning of a 10-0 blowout. That's Fall League baseball, folks. You get some kooky results. Kooky Madookie. All right, Bump Wills, 43. Flies it into left. Bill Robinson out there. Can you catch the ball? Yeah. And with 2 outs now, back up top to Lee Lacy against his team. 38, 1-8, base hit. Brett Butler, 6'10", short X. Somebody flip the lights off in Pittsburgh before you leave the stadium. It's 10-0. Big Red Machine even the series up. And also it means they've clinched the season series before they even play their 9th game of the year against each other. Bill Bonham, a 1-hit shutout with 10 runs of support. You don't get dreams like this as a pitcher. Having your team give you 10 runs, get you past the 5th inning, and you're throwing a 1-hit shutout. That's just too much to ask for Bill Bonham here. Bottom of the 9th, it's Tim Foley. 69, homer, 1-2, double. There's a double. Now he wants to finish what he started here. He wants to stay on that mound and have the catcher greet him at the end of the game. In Pittsburgh, in Three Rivers. Bud Arelson, 57's a single. Runners on the corners. And we're getting to the point where we're going to break the poor guy. Bob Baylor, 2-4, center. He ain't going to tag up and shorten the inning. Dave Parker, 35, single 1-4, lines out. Comes down to Stargell to avoid the shutout. 2-9, he skies the center field, and Baylor does indeed get it. And it's a 3-hit shutout for Bill Bonham. Wow. 10-0 shutout here in Game 4. We'll do the box. Salchenko pitches just that inning in the 9th, gives up 3 hits, 4 runs, and 2 walks. Keeson did a decent job picking up the pieces. 3 hits, all running a K in that inning, and then 2 hits and 2 Ks in that one. Boy, these Cincinnati Reds really rolled out the onslaught here. Solomon loses, gives up 8 hits and 5 runs, all in the 5th inning. Yeah. 5-run 5th. Lost his way in the 5th inning there. It was all earned. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Bill Bonham, what a day. 3-hitter, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts in a complete game. 1009, 0109, 101603. 101603, 4622, 2246. You really want to win your division, folks, in this format. It's not very kind to wildcard teams. It's one and done. So we have a very short playoff. We'll take a look at that before we wind this video. Like I said, this is more of a fun off-season thing, so I don't like to go really deep in the weeds and extend this thing too much. I like to play the full schedule, get the wild card game. It's funny. When I started this fall league, Major League Baseball was just playing that single wild card game, so I adopted it. And now all of a sudden, they've changed their format. Maybe I should change mine, but frankly, I'm looking for less games versus more. So here we are. The Reds are 13-8, a game ahead of the 11-8 Pirates. Reds hitting 279, 386 ERA. Pirates 264, 456. A lot of offense and bad defense in this timeline. Speaking of overall, yeah, overall through 257 games, the league's hitting 270 with a 4.10 ERA. You get more offense when you have 2 extra teams populating the draft, Seattle and Toronto. And it's almost like the 69 expansion where the offense went nuts after 68. You know, you bring up a bunch of AAA pitchers to fill out rosters, and you're going to have some star-studded performances. That's sort of what we have in our league here. So the current standings, here we have the Reds, a game ahead of the Pirates. Pirates need to win Game 5 to finish in a tie at first. They still have to play the Cardinals and Cubs, both teams do. And yeah, there's still time left to, you know, a lot of baseball still left to play in this. So, but speaking of the playoff format for this, you just have a one and done wild card game. So that's it. So the 1 and 2 seeds get byes, but you could win your division as a 3 or a 4. And boom, 1 game you're out. That's how tight it is. And then when we get to the divisional round, we're just going to play 5 games. So with just 5 in the divisional round, that creates an opportunity for an upset. The shorter a series is, the greater chance of an upset. And then your league championship series is a 7, of course, as is the World Series. There's 7 gamers. So we get some wild, crazy results in the Fall League. We also see that the expansion teams do a whole lot better, and that makes it even crazier because it just seems it's impossible in the early 70s for those expansion teams to get any traction, but they can do pretty good here. So I'll report back at the end of this video with what happens in Game 5. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time. Okay, baseball fans, here's the box score from the Game 4 that you saw with Reds-Pirates, with Bill Bonham shutting out the Pirates in Pittsburgh, evening up the series 2 games apiece. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. So if it goes well for the Pirates and the teams alternate, they'd win Game 5 on the road. However, it does not go that well for Game 5. It is going to be Jim Bibby for the Pirates against Tom Seaver, and this is a close game for a bit. The Pirates come out with 4 singles and 2 runs in the first inning. Solo homer by Griffey makes it 2-1. Then you get a 6th inning solo homer by Al Woods, 3-1 Pirates with Bibby on the mound. But unfortunately for Jim, he gave up a bunch of singles in the bottom of the 6th inning. Much of this with 2 outs. Single, single, single. A lot of these were first to third singles. So 6 singles translates to 4 runs, making it a 5-3 game. And that should be enough for Tom Seaver. He goes 8 innings, giving up 7 hits, 3 runs, a walk and 9 strikeouts. Ron Davis signed away from the New York Yankees. And he fills in as the Reds closer. Gives up a hit and 2 strikeouts in the 9th inning. Cincinnati Reds win Game 5, 5-3. Winning this series 3-2, having now a 2-game lead, winning the season series 6 games and 3 losses over the Pirates. When we look at the standings again here, you see the Reds have a 2-game lead, and they also have the tiebreaker, but they still have, each team has to play the Cardinals and Cubs. So there's still more baseball to play here. Again, we're just getting started in the Fall League. Don't play as many games though. So we'll give you a weekly game every Saturday, and then as we get closer to the playoffs, we'll play more frequently. But game of the week, there it is. Reds, Pirates, you have it. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.